I'm so sorry. It was, I guess because this storm is going on, my internet like was like and rebooted or something. I don't know. So here we are though. How are you guys doing? How's everyone doing? Good, good, fabulous. Yes. So here we are for our Q&A, for our Q&A. And Tracy's here too, right? Hi, Tracy.
So Brittney, it's Joy. Do you want everyone to unmute so that they can have a discussion or just talk?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, guys, we can totally unmute. Yeah, this is gonna be a lot of fun. We're just hanging out, you know? Feel free to tell, oh my gosh, look at all your faces. Yeah, Charlotte, you can totally unmute yourself. We've got Naomi, we've got Claire, we've got Ellie, we've got Charlotte, we've got Grant. Hey Grant, your hair looks great. It's so cool.
Thank you.
Anita, and oh, I don't want to say your name.
Nagisa.
Yes. Go me, go me, go me. Fabulous. So, I mean, you guys kind of feel free. I'm just gonna kind of just do a quick little hey everyone. So again, my name is Brittney Mack. As you guys know, I play Anna Cleves in Broadway's Six the Musical. What? Yeah, I've been with the show in since I guess it started in Chicago here in the States. And I had no idea what the show was at all. And so like auditioning for it and all those things, guys, like I literally had no idea what I was going. I thought I was going in for the Wizard of Oz. Like I was legit like, oh my gosh, I'm about to get my munchkin on. Like y'all are not ready. Here we go. Like, yes. However, it was so not that at all. And I was like, this is weird because they keep asking me to sing like R&B songs. And I was like, I can sing some Celine for y'all, I guess, because I do it in karaoke, you know, or like, but like car karaoke, like when we're all like in our cars or in our showers, like no one really sings Celine Dion except Celine. So I was like, okay, cool. And I honestly, I didn't really take it that seriously, maybe, and which was probably not good, guys. Don't everyone, I'm a professional. But I also think it kind of helped because I didn't really realize how big and how great the audition of my life, right? Like in theory. And so it wasn't until final callbacks when I was in with like Broadway people and I was like, is that Abby Mute? What? You know, or like I'm there with like Adriana Hicks, and Adriana was in Aladdin. She was in the revival of, you know, Color Purple. And I was like, oh my gosh, you understudy Cynthia Erivo. Like, nah, right? And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, what? Oh, wait, this is like a big deal, y'all, over my whole head. So, and then, I mean, honestly, the rest is history. And like, here I am. So this is for you. Feel free. It is your Q&A. Feel free to please ask me whatever questions you have, whether it be about the process, whether it be about the business, like whatever you guys want to chat about, we can chat about it. If you hear whimpering in the background, I am fostering a mom pup with her 7 puppies. She has 7 in her. Yeah, I know, Grant. That's what I said. Bro, I was like, okay, cool. I can do this. So to help kind of keep me occupied, I am starting that, and that started yesterday. So if you hear like that, that's what you hear.
Oh.
So I will allow you guys to take it away. Let's say like, just for the sake of, I don't know, order. Oh, Grant, hit it.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Grant, and so I have a question. So like, when you're auditioning, do you have like any tips to not feel nervous?
Yeah, Grant. So for me, I think one thing to really kind of try to know is that everyone gets nervous. It's just everyone handles their nerves differently. That's all, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, I have like learned how to channel my nerves, not to sound like a super saiyan, but like legit, like how I've learned how to kind of take like that butterfly you feel in your stomach, or some people kind of feel it like right here, and you're just like, oh God, I'm gonna vomit. Like that feeling where you're like, but nothing's gonna come out. And I've learned to try to find a place right at the top of the song where I can put it. So whether it be, say you're doing a 16 bar cut of like Forget About the Boy, right? Which is from Thoroughly Modern Millie, yay. So that very first chord, that hit, that bump, no canary in a cage for me, right? So if I'm singing that, I put all of my nervous energy in that very first no. I just like that way I kind of use the song to get it out. You can do it with a moment before. So that is when you're adjusting, if you're doing like a ballad, right? And you're just like, okay, this song requires me to really kind of tap into frustration or anger or sadness, maybe. So you'll find some place in the music to kind of take your deep breaths, take your moment. One thing is when you're in the audition room, it's still your time, right? And you want to do the best, and the people behind the table want you to do your best. So it's okay to take a second and take a deep breath and come into the room and be like, okay, and then give the maestro, your accompanist, like your solid moment. So there are a few ways, and I think, Grant, while you navigate your journey and the more you learn yourself and like what works for you, there are a bunch of different things that I think you should try. I tried a lot of different things because you get a lot of advice from different people, right? And then I think eventually you'll find something that sticks for you. So I know me, I like to come in the room with a certain amount of energy, even if the role requires me to be another kind of way, right? So I'll come in, hey y'all, how you doing? And talk it out. That way the voice is like, it's moving, it's going. Hey guys, how's it going? Great, great, great. Hey, kind of high energy. So when I'm singing, I'm placed, I'm like ready to go. And that's where I put my energy at. Soon as I come into the room, I kind of use me coming into the room as in to like wake everything up. So I think, Grant, you'll find what works for you. One thing I did was write kind of a list of like a checklist to like, okay, I'm gonna try this. That didn't, we'll see. I'll try this. And then try to go back and filter through and see what works. Some things may work differently depending on what you're singing too. So it's worth trying different things and seeing, kind of throwing it to the wall and kind of see what sticks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Claire.
Hi, Brittney. So nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I had a question about when you're doing like 8 shows a week, you're doing multiple shows a day. What do you do specifically for you or, people who you see in the industry as well to take care of your body, to make sure your voice is in the right shape and to make sure that you're not hurting yourself in any way and sustaining that?
That's a fabulous question, Claire. I know personally, I like to 8 shows a week. It really is about maintenance, right? And it's about the whole body, though, the whole person. So having let's say we're starting on that Monday, that off day, it's important to take your off day for just that, Claire, your off day. To like, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm gonna balance my books, I'm gonna do these things, I'm gonna do that. However, whatever that means for you is definitely for you. I know that I have to kind of decompress, I unplug from the world because so much of what we do is on our phones and stuff, right? And we want to stay present, we want to stay relevant, and we also want to kind of always know what's going on. We do that enough, right? And having a specific platform almost requires it of you. So anytime you don't have to do it, it's really good to kind of step away. Another thing is, it's trendy now, self-care Sundays, self-care Saturdays, hashtag like live your life, all of that stuff, right? Unapologetically me. It's love. I love it. I'm here for it. Y'all's queen. As long as you are actually doing it is what's very important. So whatever that means to you, if you're a person that, loves yoga and meditation, writing is really wonderful, just to really, really take your off day for what it is. After that, then you're talking like through the week, right? I am really silly. And so I find that especially before a show, a lot of people like to know like backstage secrets of Six. The gag is, y'all, we don't get to go off stage. So we don't really have backstage secrets really, because we never see each other off stage because we're all on stage. So everything that we do is on stage, even the crazy, silly stuff. It's like cracking jokes. Everything happens on stage, which is, don't do that in real life, guys. You want to be professional, and people pay to come and see you. So give them an experience. No, but really though, you want to enjoy your life. So we don't have backstage secrets. So at the top of the show, we like to make sure that our joy and our joy is at a very specific like level. And I mean turned up. Our music has to be a certain kind of thing. We make sure that we kind of laugh. We make sure that we engage with each other as human beings. That's it. We make sure we're kind to each other and respectful to each other, because how else can you tell a story about being equal, right? And everyone being one of a kind, and yet that's what all kind of brings us together if we're not that, right? So with Six, know that we definitely do all like really, really like each other. So it's important that we maintain and kind of set the groundwork for what the show's gonna be. Not to say, let's say if you're in Les Mis, oh gosh. So if you're in Les Mis, right, that show requires a different type of energy. So whatever that means for you, I know every single show I warm up. I am giving you a full ballet bar. I warm this body up and down and around. Even on my off days, I make sure I keep the body going. So that's another thing, a part of that full total health thing. So I make sure I laugh because I'm just a silly person naturally. I make sure that my sisters, my girls are good because we are a sisterhood, right? I make sure that I stretch. You gotta stretch. Listen, I injured myself in Chicago. And that wasn't because I didn't, but because things happen, right? And so what that does is now I have to stretch and make sure that my physical therapy is where it needs to be, so that I take care of myself, right? And then you want to make sure you're in lessons as much as you can. Now, I'm just going to be really, really honest with y'all, okay? Programs like this one are ideal for artists, and not just young artists like yourselves, but for working artists like me, because I get a chance, you get a chance to be like, oh, wait, I can take voice lessons at like, that's not like super expensive. It gets expensive, y'all. It really does. I'm just gonna be straight up with y'all. When you're out and you're in the professional world, it's very hard to try to maintain that, puppies. It's very hard to try to maintain that, like, like, I'm in class, I'm in a voice lesson, I'm into this, I'm into that. You're just like, I'm exhausted from doing the show the night before and what? So it's important to try to get in a voice lesson. You could do it over Zoom and things like this. Try to get in a voice lesson maybe once a week if you can. Even if it's just like running your scale. If that's what you need to do for yourself, just do it. We've had enough practice at this point. You can plunk it out on the piano, do it. Vocal health, physical health, take care of your skin, eat healthy, y'all. I know you can eat anything you want now, but you won't forever. So I'm gonna take that back. So for now, you should probably just enjoy being able to eat some pizza if you can, if you're not like gluten-free and you can eat dairy, like just do it. You know what I mean? I'm kidding. I'm halfway kidding. Moderation, guys, moderation. So yeah, so honestly, Claire, all that to say, it's important to take care of your full person. Try to take lessons to maintain what you've worked so hard for, right? Because you work hard to do this. And you know, other than that, all your training that you have right now, everything that you're doing will be for naught if you don't take care of it. It's not magic. It's not just going to stick around because, oh, I'm talented. So you got to put in the work. Oh, but I can sing up to it. I could, you know, you got to still put the work in to maintain it. That's why you see people who are like yogis do yoga every day. And you're just like, girl, like what? Really? Yes, because that's how they maintain their flexibility in those things. So the practices that you have now, just kind of continue them, even in your professional career, especially in your professional career, because the classes come a little like far and few in between. Did I answer your question? Sweet. Who's next? Yes, Anita. A boy like that could kill your brother.
Sorry, I'm on Zoom all the time. You think I could unmute myself faster? I'm an educator and a theater teacher and a director. And in the, so I guess a year ago, September, I had brought about 25 students to Boston at the ART to see the show at the student matinee, which is just a wonderful thing the ART does. My kids just loved it, by the way, in the talk back. It was fabulous. So thank you so much. I wanted to talk about the elephant in the room, I guess. Broadway closed down on your opening night. Can you give us an idea of how much notice you guys got, how often you hear, not from the Broadway League, because obviously, you know, nobody knows anything yet, but from your production company and things like that? I mean, I'm sure it's, and my heart goes out to all of you, but that particular night, so many of you are making your Broadway debuts. It was
first of all, loved my time at ART, and so thank you for bringing your kids to see it. Oh God, ART was a blast. That day was at this point kind of a blur. So what's very interesting, I think, was the fact that, oh, excuse me. Okay, put baby. Yes. I'm on a Q, but I'm on a Q&A. And you said you got stuck. 1 second. I'm so sorry, guys. So, okay. It was bizarre, Anita. It was bizarre. I was the only cast member at the theater because, like I was telling Claire, I get there early to warm up. And so honestly, I was in the neighborhood because I had got my nails done. So I was like, well, I may as well just go to the theater. So I went and we heard about it all day, right? And to be honest with you, we had meetings weeks prior. Probably twice a week, every week, just because it was escalating, talking about stage door and stuff like that, which, you know, from ART, especially with the show, stage dooring was like a thing. We come out, we just, you know, it's a blast. And it's like our favorite, because then you get to see, oh, well, we came, you know, in Chicago and ART. And so it just made me so sad when we couldn't do it anymore. So there was a lead up. There was a lead up, if you would. Our producers and our production team, creative team, our PR team, everyone was so just really, really great at communicating with us on the level of the gravity of it, that I appreciated it. You know, it wasn't something that was like, hey guys, this is happening, but you know, to be determined. We'll let you know. We knew every single step of the way. Mr. Niederlander came and was like, hey, so, and I was like, you're a lot younger than the bow tie. But he came and talked to us about what was going on, what processes the theaters were taking for our health, things like that. I worked on cruise ships, so I get like that petri dish thing. And so I was kind of like, okay, well, I mean, get some hand sanitizers, make people wear a mask. It's fine. It's not a big deal, you know. So leading up to, I can't say that it was a shock. I can say it just kind of took me out a little bit because of the gravity of it, simply because of the impact that it had on the whole industry. And, you know, lighting, costumes, ushers, you know, there's so many unions and how are we going to come together to make sure everyone's okay? So that is where my head was. That's where my heart was. I was like, wow, this isn't, because it didn't just happen to Six, right? It happened to the whole industry. And that's where my personal brain was. Now, a few of my cast members, some of my sisters were like, you know, it was hard. It was hard to take. It was very emotional. But when you take it and pull it back and realize that it's not just happening to our production, you realize like, oh, okay, especially now, like there's some shows that just aren't coming back, you know? And I thank God that we are a small cast that we are, because that's what allows us to be able to come back soon. So it was a little tough. My family was there, but because my family was there, I had a foundation, I had a rock, you know, and was able to be like, I don't know what's happening, but this is what's happening, and I just feel some kind of way, and you know, la la la. And so my mom was like, "It's okay. You want some Garrett's? I brought some Garrett's from home because I'm from Chicago." So she's like, "Here, eat some popcorn." And I was like, "Thanks. Okay, ma." So when you see the dressing rooms all with you know, flowers everywhere and all the, like, it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. And so it just gives me something to kind of look forward to when we come back, and know that, you know, we'll have that experience again together, having come through so much. So it's almost like it's earned a little more, if that makes sense. So yeah. Thank you, Anita. Anybody else? Who's next?
I have a question.
Yes.
So let's say you have an audition and you really worked for it and everything was great, blah, 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 and you got in there and you didn't hit the notes the way you wanted to. Your nerves got to you, all kinds of things. What do you do when that happens? Do you beat yourself up? What is your philosophy when something like that happens? And it happens, right? Taking 2 steps.
Oh, it does. It does happen, Joy. So I was going in for Cinderella, and I was like, okay, here we go, because I love classic musical theater. I love Rodgers and Hammerstein, Rodgers and Hart. I love even the ragtime era of music theater with Eubie and Blake and all those things. So I was like, okay, I'm ready. Let's do it. I was in there. I was singing My White Knight, the Rebecca Luper arrangement, actually. Yeah. And I, wow. And I was like, okay, here we go, doing it. And I sneezed full on, middle of the cut. So him I would love till I die, him I would love till I die, my white knight. Full on sneeze. I didn't see it coming. I didn't collect $200. I just sneezed all over myself. And it wasn't like, you know, sensible, y'all, snot and the like. Oh God. One of those, and I was like, I'll be right back. And they were like, okay. Left my book, left everything, went out, washed my hands. They were like, I said, oh, no, don't go in. I'm not done. I sneezed. And people were kind of like, but I had to be quick, right? So I came back in and I was like, I am so sorry, man. I have no idea what that was about. Well, now that we got that out of the way, I'll just do it again. Okay, great. From the beginning. And it just was like, there's I have stories for incidentals in the audition room. And I actually got to the third round of final callbacks for Cinderella, for the revival. Which I was like, shut up, okay. For somebody who full on snotted, there wasn't just a sneeze, y'all. That was just like, it was like I almost just went in my hand. I may as well. So that to say, there's so many things that happen in an audition room. You can sneeze, you can pass gas, like you can crack, you can, so many things. I've cracked so many.
Here's my question. Do you beat yourself up when that happens?
Right. So when it happens, when you're in the room, when it happens, right? And you still are on the clock, this is still your opportunity. So it's all about the recovery, right? You can totally be like, oh my God, you still are in the middle of your audition. So you, the human being, just sneezed. Oh my God, Naomi, like, you sneezed. Oh my God. You got 10 seconds, girl. What you gonna do? Listen, that's exactly what you do. You're like, oh my God, what's the human being? Who am I? All about your recovery. How are you gonna bounce back from that thing? What can you leave on their mind? So now they know you're human. Great. Now, Grant, your nerves are out of the way. Great. So it gives you, so it can put you in a place of panic. Grab it. Grab the panic, get control really quickly. Now you have the room at your attention. You can play. I tend to like to make people laugh. So I literally made a whole full scene out of the snot. I knew exactly what I was gonna do. I knew how I was gonna do it, but I wanted to take that moment, land it, and then do my thing. Yeah. So instead of freaking out about it, right? Meaning tap into the freak out, letting the freak out be what the thing was instead of you cracking or whatever the case may be. It's your moment. You can stop and start over. You can be like, what? Okay. Excuse me. May I start over? Yeah, sure. Okay. Thank you so much. They may say no. If they say no, okay, we could pick up right there. Pick up right where you left off. But whatever you do, while you're in the room, just remember you're in the room. Just remember this is still your time. This is still your show. An audition is just a 60-second show. So what are you going to wow us with? What do you have for us that's going to be different from Amy that comes in behind you, Naomi? What's different is, you cracked. We don't know what Amy's going to do, but I do know that my bounce back from that thing is going to be something that these people will remember. So knowing that, you want to leave a very specific impression that I'm a person. And when you're on stage, y'all, it happens. My shorts fall off all the time. And I'm telling, baby, don't lose your head. I was naked. I had no clothes on the bottom half of my life. My shorts were on the floor. And I was like, how do I, same thing in an audition room. How do you recover from that? Because live theater, that's a perk. That's the perk. And that's why we do what we do, because there's no cut and edit. So how do you recover from that thing? It could book you the job. It really can. And I know for me, probably, that's been the instance more than one time. So it's important to, if you're gonna freak out, just freak out later. Just don't do it in the room. It's okay to be human, to want to freak out, but stay in the room, stay present, recover, go home, and then be like, oh my God, get that, throw things, it's fine. Pull your hair, whatever you need to do, just do it later, but don't beat yourself up about it. Realize it, oh my God, that really happened. Wow, I'm a human being. Okay, cool. We're people, it happens.
Exactly.
It happens.
I find that some of the younger people, because they think everything is about perfection. And if they mess up a note or they're just off a little bit, they just beat themselves up. And not just one of my students, many. But you kind of get to the point where you kind of go, Next, right?
Yes,
If
you
you
have
go.
to.
Right? Because you're human, right?
Yeah.
That's the way it is. Okay. Thank you so much, Brittney.
Yes, thank you, Joy. Guys, this one time I had dropped my lyrics in Get Down in Chicago. It was a preview. And I mean, y'all, literally everybody knows that song, right? Everybody. It's like, Brittney, you don't even really have to sing it. Like, so how do you go up on your lyric? Like, ma'am, yeah, full on. Where's we at? Pull up outside in my carriage, don't got no man. And I just like something happened where I see Charlotte's like swag. And she could finish the whole song for me right now, but I couldn't finish it for myself. I don't know what happened. It was gone. And I was like, I can tell you, Brittney was exhausted. I was tired. We were in a 10 out of 12, like all the things. But lights, camera, action, let's go, right? I stood there and I was like, cool. Live theater, guys. Here we go. You wanna? No, you wanna? And I just had to pick up where I left off. Like, what? Oh, what? And it was the funny, and I mean, the girls are crying behind me because I had nothing. And I kept going. I kept the show going. It was what it was. And then I get backstage and I just sat there after the show and I was like, okay, cool. My director came back. They were like, Brittney, you all right? I was like, this off day tomorrow. I really need it. So, okay, cool. So it happens. And to me, it makes for really cool experiences. And there are some people who were there for that show. There are people who have been at shows when my shorts fall off and all those things. And I'm like, oh my God, Brittney, I was there at that show. Yeah, that was really funny. Thanks so much, guys. Yeah. Remember when your shorts fell off? Just like, yeah, I do. I was there. So it's the thing. This is Broadway, guys. This is Broadway. Wardrobe malfunctions and mess ups. And here we are. That's when you know you made it. Anybody else have any other questions? Ellie?
Actually, I was gonna ask something similar to what Joy said, but she asked about it already. Like if you break or if you forget a line on stage, how would you recover? But you kind of already answered that.
You know, Ellie, I don't recover. No, I'm kidding. I do. You just keep going. You take a second. Honestly, okay, being silly aside, take a second, recenter yourself, and then pick it up. Like it's okay. You're in the middle of a scene, just take a minute. Just be like, cool, okay, here we are. Yep. And just kind of keep it rolling as much as you can. If you're in the middle of a song, take a second and then pick it back up. That's the most important thing, is just like breathe, because we're just like breathe, and then it'll all come back to you. Like, it happens. It totally happens. What about you, Charlotte? What you eating?
I was having gummies, sour gummies, but I'm really enjoying this. And one thing I just wanted to tell you is my mom works at FSC Talent with one of your agents. So this is really cool to meet you and stuff. So
shut
up. It's true.
That is so fun. With Arbinder or
with Jody, I believe. I'm pretty sure.
Yes. That is so funny. Oh my gosh, yes. FSC is who represents me, guys. They're my agency. I love them. They're a boutique agency, which is just like a little smaller, so their roster is smaller. So it allows a little more personal attention and things like that. So depending on what you want from an agent. But that's definitely what I wanted. And so that is so funny. Okay.
Charlie, can I mention anything else about your family?
Sure.
So Charlie's dad is Anthony Crivello.
I mean, I saw Crivello in the last name. I just, I was like,
But Charlie is her own artist. Believe me when I tell you. She's her own lady right there. She's amazing. And by the way, I just wanted to let you know, Nagisa is right now in Tokyo.
Oh my God.
Naomi is in Wales in the UK. right now, right? And Claire is in Chicago. Ellie is in Orange County, California. Charlotte is out also in Southern California. Grant is in New Jersey, and Anita is in Boston. So this is quite a wonderful group. You know, honestly, it's just wonderful, and we all love you. So I want to get back to a little bit of something about people not having a successful audition. You work, and all of a sudden you crack. And by the way, I'm a voice teacher, so I deal with teenagers and kids a lot, and they're so hard on themselves, and they beat themselves up, and it's, oh, really? What do you think about that? What do you think about being your own best friend and supporting yourself and understanding yourself when that happens?
I think that it is something that happens over time. I think that it's something that, believe it or not, eventually you will trust yourself, which means that you'll trust and know that if you're working on something, that your rehearsal is the safest space you could ever have. So when you're in your voice lessons and things like that, that is where it can happen. That's where the flubs happen. That's where it all happens. And if rehearsals are my favorite part of the process of any part. It is because you're just like, oh, you get to create, you get to be the things. One of my favorite creative processes was Shrek, and I played Gingy and the Sugar Plum Fairy. And so finding that voice for Gingy was very hard for me because I didn't want to do what was on Broadway, and I didn't want to do what was on the film. But I also knew that Gingy still had a very signature sound, right? And so I'm in rehearsals, and I'm just like, oh my, I can't, the director's here and you're kind of on the spot. And I'm just like, okay. And he's like, okay, Brittney, like, cause he was like, eventually we're going to have to hear the voice. And I was like, okay. And in that moment, I tried to come up with something that I thought he would want to hear. And, I can't say that I was successful to me because it wasn't Brittney. It was what I thought he wanted me to be, right? So I was like, okay, you know what? I said, can I have a second? It's in y'all, when you realize that like we're all quite actually the same, right? Even the director has been you, hopefully. The choreographer, people have been in your shoes where you just kind of need to reset. You are allowed to take the reset moment. Listen, you don't have to be Beyonce to be like, I need a moment, question. You don't have to be, Lin-Manuel. You don't have to be, on Broadway to say, let me regroup. You as artists, you as people are allowed to be like, let me just, wait a minute. What? Okay, here we go. One more time. It's okay to take a minute to find what is true to you. Yeah. And in the rehearsal space, in a practice room, in a voice lesson, you are allowed to go up, go down, go sharp, go flat. You are allowed to do that because you're learning. To learn is to do to learn what you don't know. It's to be like, oh, okay, this is new to me, right? Even if it's a song that you've been singing for months, you never sang it that day. It's a brand new day. That means you're a whole nother person on this day. And it's all right. So messing up and flubbing and all those things, it's a part of being a human. It's just like walking down the same sidewalk and you trip. And you're just like, something grabbed my foot. The sidewalk grabbed my foot. Why? Sidewalk, I didn't do anything to you and I don't understand. But that day you tripped and you've walked down this block a million times. It doesn't matter. It's not like, why did I? Nope. It's okay that you tripped. acknowledge, oh, I tripped, and keep it moving, because you still have a destination to get to, right? So you're in your lessons, you'll go up on a line, you'll crack, you're flat, you're sharp, you're just not with it today. It's okay. It's okay, because the destination is to make the song your own, to get the song to a place that it's comfortable for you. And that only happens if you're uncomfortable in the process, because you have to know where your limits are. You have to know all of those different things, right? So it's, man, I can't tell you, once I finally found the voice of Gingy, it was something I was always able to kind of tap into. It's something I could always find. That's when you know it's your own. That's when you know that you're like, okay, yeah, I've done the work. I did the things, like, okay, cool. And you're going to keep growing in that, but now it's yours, because it's something you'll always be able to find within yourself, vocally, physically, when you're dancing. Like, your full extension of your body, of your limbs, of your arms, your port de bras is not going to be the same as someone else's. So it's, what does the length of my arm feel like on my body, right? What does anger and frustration feel like to me, right? Some people are an introvert, so anger boils. Some people are angry in their face. Some people are angry in their tense in their shoulders. It's so different, right? So it's so important that in that learning, in your figuring out in your rehearsal spaces, you're allowed to just see what sticks. Throw it and see what sticks. And if it doesn't stick, just go and get it and see if it'll stick somewhere else, But don't be like, it didn't stick. Because then you won't grow from there. The point is to grow. So if you're too busy or focused and dwelling on why didn't it stick, instead of what can I do different? What can I try now, play with now, to see what can make it stick for you? Let's do it, right? So it's something that you will learn over time. It's something you will learn through experience. So even if what we're talking about now, right? This is not abracadabra. This is not like, poof, I got it. Yes. That's not gonna be what this is. It's gonna be something that takes a little bit of telling yourself, I can do this. Okay, trust, sticking glue, trust glue, sticking trust glue. I don't really know. Like, I don't, okay. Trust myself. Okay. Oh, that wasn't it. And it may not come all the time, but it's gonna be different for you. Give yourself some grace, guys. Give yourself some grace. This is a very hard industry to be in. It's tough. Oh, it's tough. And it only gets tougher. So you're in this, give yourself the grace, because other people won't. And if you start to do it now, which means give yourself a break. It's okay. I get it another day. It's all right. Because how many of us have people around us now that are just like, but like, geez, we already have it coming from so many different ways that we should at least be able to give ourselves some grace, right? So it doesn't help to beat yourself up when everyone else is already. Somebody's got to be nice to you. And that, again, goes back to Claire and being, taking care of yourself. That self-care thing, that building yourself up, get you a nice circle of people that make you feel good, right? And my circle, y'all, it's not really a circle. If we spread out far enough, we become a circle, because it's really just 3 of us. But we are important to each other and we build each other. So that's another thing. In our huge community, find yourself your own little village to kind of keep giving yourselves that push that you need. You got this, friend, get it. You got this. You could do it. Okay, try it another way. What about this? That also sharpen you and kind of get you to that next place that will allow you to like keep growing, because that's all we really, really want to do. Joy didn't come this far and do so much that everything that she's done in her whole career is like, God, because she kept growing and growing and growing and
And
growing.
may I just say,
Yes,
we have to be our own best friend, don't we?
yes, we do.
Yes. And understand that the gifts that you have were given to you. Now, I don't know, I don't want to get into a whole religious, but the truth is not everybody has that gift. They have other gifts. Maybe they're great soccer players. Maybe they can't be a drama teacher like Anita. This is something probably Anita's been doing since she's a tiny girl. I know I started. Oh, Anita just did something that I loved. Excuse me. Did you just do Atta Girl? Thank you. My students that are on here, can you please see that? Yes. And it's not obnoxious to love yourself or care about yourself, but you want to respect yourself and be your own best friend. And but again, that comes down to integrity. So we have to know that we are really in touch with, I mean, as an example, I'm gonna pat myself on the back. Last year there was a snowstorm. I went to Wegmans, which is a grocery store in New Jersey, and I had an eyeliner from, oh, what is that brand? I don't know. It's like everybody loves it, but anyway, it's an inexpensive brand. And I went out to the car in the snowstorm, and I'm a senior citizen, and I picked up the truck and I went, oh darn, I didn't pay for that eyeliner. So you know what I did? I took the cart back into the grocery store and I said, excuse me, I didn't pay for this eyeliner. And everybody went, oh, I can't believe you did that. That's so wonderful. I said, why? I didn't pay for it and now I'm going to pay for it. So in other words, we live with ourselves, right? And we have to feel good about ourselves and be our best mentor to ourselves. Now, are we always perfect? No. Oh my gosh. Do we say something sometimes too? And then you go, oh, why did I say that? Why did I do that? But then we have to learn forgiveness to ourselves and say, I don't want to be that. I don't want to do that. I'm going to think about it again. But here's the thing, the journey. And by the way, I'm going to be 70 in 2 weeks, guys. And I'm still singing and I'm still rocking and rolling. The bottom line is I have been with, I'm not, how do I put this? And I'm living in an apartment or in New Jersey with my cat, but I am not by myself. I am with myself because I'm a good friend of my own. I just avoid mirrors and it works out perfectly fine. Works out perfectly fine. So we want to get to know ourselves and who we are. And also, Brittney brought up many things tonight about being human. We just are not perfect. We're not supposed to be perfect. It's about maybe striving for perfection. And Brittney and I've had many conversations. I'm a little chatty with her because I'm adopting her as my other daughter. I don't know if her mother likes that idea, but we'll see. I love her. And I love all you guys too. But if let's say we're not everything we want to be, you still have to give yourself a break, guys. Especially my younger students, they're so hard on themselves. And, you know, and I understand you don't want to disappoint your parents, but guess what? There's nothing you're going to do that's ever going to disappoint them. It's just, they know they've been there too, right, Claire? Claire's going, yeah. But you don't know that yet. And that's why Brittney's saying you're going to grow into it. And when you hurt, your parents hurt, there's nothing they can do about it, especially the teenagers, because you're like the weather report. It's like, it's sunny, it's rainy, it's cloudy. I deal with you kids all the time. But try to be your own best friend. Am I right, Brittney? Especially in this industry, because especially with nerves, you walk in and you've rehearsed, and then you go in there and all of a sudden, all the things that you studied in class, see what, Brittney, do that again. What you just, you completely forgot it because your mind went somewhere else, right? And it does take time. And Brittney, you gave the exact right advice. It takes time and trust yourself. And it is all of our classes, they're classes. It's not about getting a grade. It's not about the end result. It's about the journey, right? The journey. And so enjoy the journey, savor it, savor it. Right, Naomi? Poor Naomi. She's in the UK. What time is it there, honey? Like 4 in the morning?
About 1 o'clock
She's
in
exhausted.
England.
She's working. My poor, I want to go tuck her in. I'm ready to tuck you in, Naomi. But
I have to be up at 6 as
oh,
well,
yeah,
so
well, we're
it's all
almost done, and then you're going to tuck in, okay? Bottom line, you're all here because you are serious about what you're doing, and you're passionate about the art, right? This is about the art. It's not about fame. It's not about fortune. There's no, but I can only say for myself, I've never felt so rich because I work with kids and teenagers and adults and teaching and in passing the torch. So no money can possibly be in my bank account, right? Oh, Anita's going like, well, maybe a little bit more. We'll get there, Anita. But there are other things in life that bring you great pride, as I have in my students and my mentors, of which Brittney is a new mentor. So the advice, anybody else have any questions? But in other words, I'm going to leave this. Stop beating yourself up. Start being your own best friend, okay? Because you're going to be living your life with yourself throughout your life. So be your own best friend rather than somebody who's not your friend, right? Does that make sense, Brittney?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's okay. It doesn't mean that you're narcissistic at all.
Oh no, the industry that we're in, it almost like requires it, and because like Joy said, you will find that you're kind of like alone. Like I live alone, right? And so during this whole process, I've been in my apartment quarantining alone. And it's been very, very interesting. But because I am a person that I am my own best friend, I don't have a problem, turning on I listen to all types of music, but lately I listen to Carmen. I listen to the actual opera, Leontine Price as Carmen.
Wow.
And it was stunning. I hadn't listened to it in a long time. And so and I remember like trying to sing along. It had been so long that I was like, oh girl, wait,
Yes, because up until now, everybody's doing this. I've got dance class, I've got soccer, I've got this, everybody's running around, and then all of a sudden it's like, what do I do now? Well, that's how I grew up. I grew up in the 50s, and in the 50s, you were there, right? And you can be listening to music and you can be growing. And I always think about, with negatives and positives, putting that line down the sheet of paper, instead of dwelling on the things that I don't have, the things that I have. Let's savor the things that we do and the blessings that we have. And this program, I hope, is that for you all. And that includes the mentors. But anyway, I'm going to shut up and just say, love yourselves, be careful who you bring into your circle, right? It's hard because sometimes people can be tricky. And you think they're your friend, and then you find out they're not your friend, and it happens. And you just have to sometimes, you need people who are supportive of you and who are honest with you. They may not always tell you what you want to hear, but people who love you will tell you what maybe they think you need to hear. But again, you have to decipher what works for you, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's now 8:04, and it's so lovely, Anita, meeting you. This is the first time. Anita had no idea how she found us because nobody knows who we are, Anita. I'm a really bad marketer. But we have some great programs. By the way, everybody, Brittney has a masterclass coming up on February 21st.
Yep.
Now, question, everybody's to sing a 32-bar song. Does it have to be a love song, or what do you think?
No, it could be anything.
Okay.
Whatever they want. If it's something you're working on, if it's something that you're like, I've always wanted to sing this song, and so I'm just gonna. Okay. That would be a lot of fun. So rather than probably something that you're like, I sing this all the time, like whatever makes you feel comfortable, we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's just going to be the first of many classes. So, and guys, let me just say this, February 7th, I think it is, Randy Johnson, who is the director of A Night with Janis Joplin, which got the Tony Award, is going to be doing a Q&A. So again, you can come on, you can ask a director questions, and he's a really wonderful, wonderful person. Check the schedule because we have a lot of Q&As coming up and some master classes coming up, and you can always reach out to me with any questions as well. Yes. So all my students, I'm waving to you guys. I love you. And to Claire, Claire also got an honorable mention for the Rebecca Lucas Scholarship.
Claire.
We did a year of master classes, and Danny Burstein helped pick the recipients. So it's very sweet. So we're thinking of Becca. And I'll see you guys all soon. Nagisa, I'll see you on a lesson soon. Grant, I'll see you on a lesson. Charlie, Ellie, Naomi, I love you guys. And I'm going to shut up now. Okay. Brittney, you're fantastic.
Thank you, Joy, and thank you guys so much for coming on and chatting with me. I look forward to working with some of you, hopefully, and seeing you at the masterclass, hopefully. I am here. I'm so excited to be a part of the program. Tell your friends, come say hey.
Yes, and I didn't mention that if anybody wants to do a one-on-one with Brittney, she's available. So, and as Brittney knows, because she's been on other programs, our prices are like a lot less, right, Brittney?
Yeah, but I mean, the program itself is fabulous, and what you guys are getting is fabulous, and it's just a great opportunity, and I'm just excited to have met you all and to kind of be able to just be like, oh hey. So if you guys want to come and say hello, we can talk your material, we can talk about new material. I really like helping and discovering new stuff as well, and then you can take those to your voice lessons and stuff and see. So I am here.
All right, well, listen, be safe, those of you in the snowstorm, and even in California and everywhere. We love you guys. Thank you for joining us on the program, and hope to see you again very soon. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Tell your kids hi, Anita.
Brittney, I have a question before you
Yeah.
go.
Yes.
I just had like a small thing that I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
I guess not really small, but just like as an actor of color and like being in the industry as a person of color, like what are some ways that you are able to advocate for yourself in rooms that like may not always be facilitated ideally, or like in processes that are not always can sometimes be like uncomfortable, or just like, you know, not just like not like totally diverse.
Yeah. So you know what, Claire, honestly, the biggest thing for me, I've always been the type of young girl, young woman, older woman that has been able to articulate very clearly what it is that I want, or what it is that may be bothering me or affecting me, right? So I find that, Claire, honestly, especially in this industry, especially when you find yourself in a room and you're one of many, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And here I say it all the time in every masterclass, every one-on-one, all the time, any workshops that I do, is not what you do, is how you do it. The important thing, Claire, especially as a woman of color, is to be heard. And not only be heard, but be heard and understood in a way that is effective. For that to happen, you have to work through the fear. It is very scary. Know that your fear, Claire, is valid, okay? The fear that you have to stand up for yourself has been almost impart, it's like someone put it inside of you and you're just like, I don't even know how or where this came from, but I get a little choked up, I get hot, the back of my neck gets tense, you get flushed, you know, all these things, right? And you're just like, I literally, all I want to say is, right, I just want to ask A, B, C, and D, or just A, like, So firstly, I would encourage you to be okay and be sound with how you feel. That feeling, that fear is in fact injustice. It's the realization that something's very wrong here. Something's not right. Okay. And so in that, it's very important that if you want to speak about it in the moment, that you must, now this is depending on kind of you as a person, Claire, you must grab a hold of your emotions very quickly. Because as soon as we, especially as women, period, ladies, that's in general, but as a woman of color, even as an actor of color, it is very important to gather your emotions so that you are heard. Crystal clear, mama, right? So you want to be able to like snatch that would be almost like the nerves of the whole thing, or the anger, the frustration, the sadness, the why. Who cares about the why right now? We'll get to the why when you get home and you're able to like cry in your pillow and feel like, but in the meantime, gather it and just, hey, and it's not even about you having to speak like quietly. No one's going to hear that, right? No one hears a church mouse, right? But you don't want to roar like an elephant. You don't want to, it's funny you say roar like an elephant because it almost doesn't make sense when your emotions get involved with how big they are, because emotions can take over us and can cause us to speak and do things that are out of character, right? So you, Claire, just from you asking me, I can see you're very grounded as a person. That groundedness is what will help you in communicating, right? So when you do that, quick question. So earlier today, this happened. As a result of that, I felt very uncomfortable, and it kind of set me on this kind of spiral for the rest of the day, which is why I've been a little quiet. So I've had some experiences, even with 6, that have made me feel very uncomfortable. It has made me feel less than, has made me feel a bunch of different things. And that if I acted on what I felt, I would not have been heard, right? And I'm petite, Claire, Naomi, Nagisa. I'm very petite as a woman, baby, small. So just tiny. So there's this urge to want to be loud, to be heard, because I'm a petite woman and I want you to take me seriously. I don't have to do that. Ladies, you don't have to do that. You can just gather. Take a second. I'm quick on taking a second. Ooh, if you're in an environment where it's like, it's coming. Okay. Just excuse me 1 second. You go to the bathroom, you get it out, come back, you wait for an appropriate time to communicate to whoever it is that you need to do that. And I'm using my words very specifically, saying things like communicate as opposed to talk to. Because when you're talking to someone, it has an air to it, right? It can. I need to talk to you. Wait. You want to be heard. The point is, you want to be heard. Less about getting a point across. You don't get a point across if no one's listening, right? So that is the hardest part, is gathering the emotional aspect. Sometimes it may take you a day. It may take you a week. but wait until you're very, very clear about what it is you're trying to say. Because again, the emotion might make you come out of yourself. And you
I'd like
might,
to just add something if I could.
Yes.
Because I'm the senior lady
Of course.
here.
of course,
And I could just tell you, just in general, being a woman in the
Yeah.
industry. And I was a young woman in the industry in Los Angeles in the 70s and all of this stuff. It's be careful who you're in the, do not be alone when you're
Yes.
communicating that.
yes, that was,
Do
yes.
not be in the room alone. And I
Yes.
don't know what's happened or hasn't happened. This is why I love unions. This is why I love equity. This is why I love SAG. This is why I love AFTRA.
Mhm.
Because you mess with a union person, you're in big trouble, I believe. I just actually, it's very interesting, watched a documentary last night on Harvey Weinstein and the Me Too movement. So I'm not, I may not be able to relate totally because I'm not a woman of color, but I'm a senior citizen now.
Yeah.
So I deal with that and discrimination
Yeah.
with that and a woman.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty strong, ladies. But I'm a girl now.
Yeah.
Like I said, if I don't look in a mirror, I'm still 22. But I just avoid mirrors. Do not be in a room alone when you say these things. Make sure that And let me tell you, I hate to put it this way, but you may want to have, if you have something to say, this is just my opinion. You may want to put on your recording device.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cell phone.
Absolutely.
Because, and it doesn't matter if I think women in general, we run into a lot of issues.
We do. We do.
Because, we're so smart and we think they're not getting it yet. But we want to protect ourselves, but be careful not falling into the victim.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for me, because
Right.
we have things to do that we need to, just as I'm trying to pass the torch for you younger people, you guys are going to be taking that torch.
Yes.
And what Brittney is saying, you do things with integrity, class, and elegance. It's kind of hard to fight that one, isn't it? But if you start to feel victimized, and poor me, and we lose our strength. And so do protect yourself as much as you can. If you have something to say, you may want to say it in a letter with a lawyer looking over.
Yeah.
But you need to have proof. So you might need to have a cell phone video recording. This gal who got Weinstein from Italy, she was a model. It's a really good documentary. I don't remember the name of it. There's a few of them. Tracy, are you on here? I think it's on HBO, honey, or is it? Oh, she's probably not there. Or it might have been Prime. But I would watch it. And Gloria Aldred was involved.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. What is the documentary on that? The one that I liked anyway.
About I couldn't hear the first part because I was trying to.
Talking about the documentary about Harvey Weinstein, who is now in prison for 20 years plus 3.
I didn't actually watch one on him, so I'm not sure.
Well, I did. So anyway, go to Prime or HBO because it's good to watch it, and you just need to protect yourself. And sometimes we need to edit because, like Brittney said, you want to watch what you say in the most integrity-based, elegant way. But if you feel victimized, oh, they did this to me and they did this to me because of that, it can bring you down a lot, I think. I don't know, does that make sense? But it really was inspiring to me last night, and it was women of all colors who united because Harvey Weinstein had no preference. Like if you're breathing, well, there you are. But in terms of the industry and fairness, this is why I happen to be a union lady. I've been a member of Actors Equity since 1971. And I worry that not having that protection to be able to go, if somebody's backstage and somebody says something to you, I could go to my equity monitor, right? And pull a report. So you don't forget, this is something else to think about. Just remember, there are 2 words with show business. And what are those 2 words, Claire? So it's show business. What are the 2 words?
Show and business.
and business. So, right. So if somebody is crossing that line, right, with business, then we have to deal with it as a business person too, right? If we allow ourselves to be victimized, then we will be the victim. That's all, that's just what I'm saying. And let me tell you, I've been in this industry for, like I said, 71 since the Actors Equity. So, and I hate to put it this way, but I think women in general, you know, it's either you're too fat, you're too thin, you're too this, you're too that. It's like, what? Which is why Goldie Hawn became a producer, and all these people are doing their own things in entrepreneurialism. Oh my gosh. You know, a lot of people are rising above it and saying, you know, I don't want to be under somebody else's thumb. I'm going to do my own project. I'm going to produce my own project. And these are the things that strengthen us. And Naomi works with Donna McKechnie, like pretty much weekly. They're very close. And how strong is Donna? And Donna is what? I mean, talk about age discrimination. Donna doesn't take nothing from anybody, right? Yeah. No. So protect yourself, though. Do not, if you have something to say, make sure it's in a room where there are other people. Do you agree with that, Brittney?
I do. I can say that sometimes you are in a position where there won't be, right? And that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles sometimes. So yes, I was also going to say that if you're not a person that is, you know, hey, like I know Andrea Mackasette, who plays Anne Boleyn, right? She beautiful Filipino woman. She's like very non-confrontational. So she will give you a full-on email, right? And so I'm like, okay, Mamacita. But I, as her friend, she'll be like, okay, read this. And I'm like, great. Let me take out all of this, and this, right, because again, you want to stick to the facts when there's something, especially because we're talking about injustices, right? Right. And so as a woman of color, it's just what it is. It's just gonna be what it is. And in that moment, if we're talking about that specifically, you are the victim of that.
You are the victim,
right?
Absolutely, you are the victim. What I'm talking about, you absolutely are being victimized, no question.
Yeah.
The problem, where I think the problem can go, is if you fall into the pit and you are basically believing your press. You know, somebody's basically victimizing you, and you go, and you're basically, what I'm saying is giving them the power.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So what Brittney is saying is, be smart. Be smart. And that editing, yes, because if you write something in an email because you're emotional, you had a couple glasses of wine and you know, it's like, what are they talking? I'm on a phone call with Merlot, you know, that old story, you know, you want to maybe run it by somebody else, because there are people out there that are so calculating, right? And especially, and I don't know, I mean, women of color, women, I mean, we come from most of us come from a pretty nurturing place, and we're trusting people, right? And and that's where you kind of get hurt. It's like I thought they were this person, and it turns out, no, they're not that person, right?
Yeah.
And that's very hurtful, and it's painful because it's so disappointing, right? If anything else, but you have to learn to protect yourself and be, and what Brittney is saying, rather than being so emotional, stop, think, and put it into your head rather than your emotions during that time. Because those kind of people are so smart, they know just how to trigger it back, right? So you calm down. And if you are in a situation, in my opinion, now this is the mother in me, and you know, Brittney, I'm like that. If you are in a situation that's uncomfortable for you, and it's just the two of you, get out of the room.
Yeah.
Don't stay there. Just get out of the room.
Great.
And I can tell you from first experience, you know, I have a very favorite saying: the words of wisdom will be heard by the ears that are ready. So sometimes you just have to say, come on, we're getting out of here. I'm at the door. We'll talk tomorrow, whatever. Get out of the room, because you can't always, if somebody's ignorant,
Exactly.
what do you,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
what are you
exactly.
gonna do, you know? So
Right.
when I say feeling victimized, for me personally, anytime in my life that I would go, if I could put poor me in front of any sentence with me, and I was all by myself in LA at 23 years old, and I'm a female, and I was little too, and I mean all kinds of things. And if I could do that, boy, it dragged me down. It did. But being angry doesn't help either, because there's another saying I love. Being angry is like you drinking the poison, hoping somebody else will die.
Right.
Right?
That's great. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah,
Thank you so
it's
much. I have to run. I'm so sorry,
Bye-bye.
but
Okay,
this was really
guys.
helpful. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you, Brittany. It was nice meeting
Thank you,
you.
Claire.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Naomi, you're gonna get some rest.